Welcome back. It is with a deep breath and some trepidation that I approach this one. When in the public eye, everything about a person of influence gets scrutinized. We've seen it happen firsthand far too often. From a flyaway hair or a slightly plumper figure, okay, I'll try and suck it in, to the most intimate details of our personal lives. Now, as we've seen recently, there's been a deluge of opinions online regarding recent events that have thrown celebrities and their families into the line of fire, and that's exactly what it is. Is this behavior unfair or just part and parcel of achieving stardom and acclaim? You've got to pay your dues. Well, that's why today we are going to chat about public scandals and its effects, featuring clinical psychologist Slindile Mbata, as well as entertainment reporter Shiraz Reddy. And if you have any thoughts, insights, experiences to share, please do so. Feel free to drop us a voice note right now, 063 408 8863. This is not an opportunity to name and shame, and I'm just going to put that out there right now, but an opportunity to help people that are going through this right now, both sides of the coin. Shiraz, let's spill the tea, first of all. Why is everyone in an uproar at the moment? What started this domino effect?
It's been a year of scandals of note, you know what I mean? It started with that Oscar award-winning slap that Will Smith planted on Chris Rock at the Oscars earlier this year. That then spiraled into the Kim Ye divorce, which has gotten quite messy. It's affecting not only their businesses, but also their children. I think people forget. Joe Rogan and Spotify, he's been brought down for his Canadian podcast, broadcasting fake news about COVID-19. Again, people leveraging what others may have seen as a really bad time in their life, leveraging that for their own good, which is not good, you know what I mean? That in its own right makes it quite scandalous. And then closer to home, you know, we saw just last week people are baking all sorts of cheesecakes as Matthew Booth comes under the spotlight with his cheating scandal. Yeah, it's been a lot.
And I got sucked into that one online on Twitter. And I'm so averse. I actually stay off Twitter because of that, because it just feels like a punching bag. Really.
Everybody has an opinion.
I'm going to see if you can give me a bit more background on this, Lee. In German, there's a term called Schadenfreude, pleasure derived from another person's misfortune. I hate to say it, but there's a reason why we get absorbed, get obsessed with these things. Is this a real thing? Is there something wired into our brain that enjoys, on some level, seeing someone else go through pain?
Sure, absolutely. You know, I think, quite shockingly, I think it can be a part of, you know, human nature. We have so many different, you know, we have a range of emotions that we're capable of feeling. And sometimes, you know, envy can be one of them. So sometimes if somebody is incredibly successful in the public eye, there can be some level of envy that comes with
cut
that.
down a peg or two.
Right. So seeing their downfall and you see, you know, to see it kind of play out in a public forum, for some people can generate a little bit of that, oh my goodness, you know, you're actually not that perfect. So I do think it's almost like sometimes it's a little bit like, you know, if you see someone trip and fall and you have that moment where you think, oh my goodness, okay, that's really funny. Or you can be really worried and concerned about it. So I think definitely people are capable of feeling some kind of pleasure, I must say, just from somebody else.
I suppose it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself or your situation or something that's going on. But listen, if someone falls,
bad.
No, you're allowed to laugh if someone trips. Okay, you can laugh, but just help them out. Those are the rules. When do we go too far? Because yes, you are putting yourself into the zone of public scrutiny, but the press is a beast that will not let go. But then social media is something else. It's not intentional often. It just needs to plug into certain or tick certain, or flick certain switches, and then suddenly the internet has you. How much is too far?
I think a perfect example is Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard with the defamation case. I mean, social media had a trial of its own. And he even said it was the worst space to go to, not only for himself, but his children. They were seeing it coming out on Twitter and Instagram, whereas they were waiting for mom and dad to get home to tell them. But it was too late. So it really becomes a world of opinions, and you have to filter through all of that and then filter through what you're actually going through, which is emotional and mental trauma. And people forget that.
And often comes to bear when you see the kids, the reaction of the family, when you see what it actually, the impact it has firsthand. I know we can joke about this a lot, but it's almost the only way we can take the edge off, because this does affect people on the most fundamental level. If you are being cheated on right now, what are you wanting to do about it or intending to do about it? How do you feel? We'd love to hear from you. 063 408 8863. That conversation is going to be running throughout the show. Drop us a voice note.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we delve right into a very interesting panel discussion. We are talking about the painful reality of public scandals and their effects. And earlier we unpacked the reasons why people of influence get embroiled in these scandals. And right now we are about to delve deeper into the ramifications thereof. And we are joined once again by our good friend, clinical psychologist Slindile Mbata, as well as another good friend, entertainment reporter Shiraz Reddy, who's had a pretty busy year. And if you've got any thoughts, personal experience to share, please do that, especially if you've been through something like this online. I'd love to know more. 063-408-8863. In fact, let's go straight to our social media pages and take a look at what the people are saying. And we've got Jane weighing in. Cheating is a choice, and every choice one makes, either the results will be good or bad. Whatever you plant you will reap. Okay, for sure. Shiraz, why? Why money? Why influence? How does this change the dynamic? Because it's almost like you need to, as soon as someone becomes famous, give them a little handbook and say, this is what you can do now and this is what you can't do.
I think it's because you don't ever want to find yourself like caught off guard.
Yeah.
And I think that it takes you by storm before you even know it. So it's, like you said, a handbook. You need someone that's going to tell you, or a group of people, or a team rather.
I.e.
that says,
yeah.
Yes, that says, these are the things that you can and can't say. Because again, you're either guilty by association or your words get muddled. Again, social media is so often unfiltered, yet it's so filtered when we're posting, right? But people are there to not only share their opinions, but also to filter through and kind of scrutinize yours and kind of find a way to find the drama or create the drama. You know that whole thing about, am I the drama? Everybody wants to be the drama. And I think that is what's important, to have that team in place.
I mean, you'll often see that with if someone passes away online, the tributes, the people that will make it my personal drama.
But have you ever
never
met
having
that
known the
person?
Exactly,
yeah.
The flip side of this coin, and we have seen it firsthand. I've felt it in different ways, but as soon as you get one negative comment online, that hits you hard.
Yeah.
Now you must have the whole world, and I keep thinking of Amber Heard, because my perception of her changed the second that trial started, because I had maybe a confirmation bias just waiting to be proven there. How damaging can an online assault be? And I know it's a shame, you're worth millions, you're a celebrity, but you're still a person. What kind of damage can seeing that on that scale online do to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can do a lot of damage. I think people can actually forget that there's a human being on the other end of it. So there's a lot of, not only, you know, the schadenfreude that you were talking about, sometimes people even think, okay, well, my life is not so bad. You know, look at what the celebrity's life is like. But I think there's a lot of intimidation that can happen, a lot of judgment that comes with it as well. A lot of bullying and intimidation. So when people are sitting behind their screens and writing, and, you know, it's fairly anonymous, there's very little consequence sometimes to what it is that they're saying. And I think they can say things that are a lot more extreme than what they would say.
You feel safer.
Yes.
You feel more kind of that there is some kind of anonymity, but we still know you, we still see you.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it can sort of mean that what people are saying can be a lot harsher than what they would say if they were sitting right in front of you. So, you know, with harsher opinions, I think it can be much more traumatizing, much more depressing, actually, to actually hear those things.
I'm just thinking of the model that it's creating, because now young people who live most of their social interactions in that social media space are just getting a playbook of how to get at someone, how to bully someone, how to affect someone, and they can see the effects of it there. And often that's what you want. You want maximum impact because you've been hurt, and it's hurt in your most personal space. But then you take it online. Why? Why did Sonia Booth start this journey? And maybe this is a question for you, Slee. And I know the both of them. So we're not going into their personal motivations, but what would be that switch that gets flicked that a person is like, okay, I'm going to take this online?
To be heard. At the end of the day, it's to be heard. It's a woman that has obviously had several conversations and feels like those words have fallen on deaf ears. And this is her opportunity. And not to divert from Sonia, but if you look at the Adam Levine story, I mean, he's the frontman for Maroon 5. His cheating scandal came out on TikTok. You know what I mean? The model that he allegedly had a one-year relationship with, she spoke about it right there. And his wife, Bahati Prinsloo, she was the one that was like, oh my word, I saw this on TikTok. But again, it's people find it to be okay, and it's really not. But also there comes a point where you're like, you know what, no one else is listening to me. These are the people that are often rooting for me and, you know, giving me a pat on the back and be like, you're doing well. So Sonia, go forth and prosper. And that is what she did.
I can guarantee you, I can guarantee you that that feeling of satisfaction lasts for about 0.01 seconds, unfortunately, when you start playing on the online space and you hand that material over to the algorithms that are looking for the news, that are looking for the ways that they can spread that story virally, and it's got nothing to do with the truth or anyone's feelings. And we're going to continue chatting about this in just a moment. 0634088863, drop us a voice note.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we round off a very interesting discussion this morning. Public scandals have been a hot topic over recent weeks and recent months, years. Stories like the Try Guys, Ned Fulmer, Adam Levine, most recently, obviously, from a local perspective, Matthew Booth, Elton Yankees, all have taken centre stage for all the wrong reasons. Well, we are joined once again by clinical psychologist Slindile Mbata, as well as entertainment reporter Shiraz Reddy, as we discuss public scandals and the effects thereof. And if you've got any thoughts, experiences you'd like to share, drop us a voice note, 0634088863. Shiraz, let's talk about the knock-on effect legally, because I think people don't often think about what could potentially happen. What are the legal ramifications for breaking someone else's story, for airing their dirty laundry?
So often it's also very blurred. Those lines get blurred very quickly, and I think it's a space that people really need to read up on, because it's really not something that you want. You can't tread lightly there. You have to be very specific. It's very detailed, and also we have this thing called the Poppy Act. Firstly, I think people forget. You're going out there and you're sharing all this personal information about another person. That's not allowed, firstly. And secondly, it becomes a space where you think that you can take the law into your own hands, but you really don't. You need to consult counsel. You need to go and find a professional who not only is going to help you through it mentally and emotionally, but they can do the paperwork and ensure that the lines are not blurred and that you're staying on track with what is legally being approved, but also that our Constitution says is okay. At the end of the day, it's two people, it's two lives. It's not just about you, yes, you've been hurt, or yes, you want to hurt that person and get back at them, no matter what the scandal may be. I think Joe Rogan with Spotify was exactly that. This was his career, but also he leveraged COVID-19 and what others were seeing as an opportunity to make money. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna get in on that.
And it might have felt innocent enough because I'm that famous. I'm worth that.
You know, it's okay, and people will, you know, follow me because I have an opinion.
What's good for the goose? I really do get that. I really do get that. But once you've handed it over, yes, this is a factual story that's actually happening in the real world. You then hand it over to the court of public opinion when it enters into the social media space. News, social media are two different things, or are they? Talk me through that line, because that seems to be one of the biggest things that sways public opinion, is what we read about people on social media. We don't know if the facts have been substantiated. We don't know who said it, where it's come from. How much of a role does social media play in this space now, do you think, when it comes to these big public scandals?
Yeah, I mean, social media can play a huge role, but sometimes for all the wrong reasons. Let's not forget that when a story breaks, we are only getting part of the story. So I think sometimes people can feel like they know everything that's going on because they've read a thread, you know, on Instagram, on Twitter, or something like that. And also because it's been shared by a friend or a family member. So
or by a million other people.
Yeah, a million other people. So, you know, it must be a credible story. Everything I read here must be true. And so I think that, you know, when it comes to factual news and it comes to, you know, as opposed to what is news that's being shared on social media or public opinion, the lines can be very blurred. You know, how many people are going to go behind the scenes and actually question, wait a minute, is this thing that's being said actually true? Where's the evidence, you know, to support this thing or that? And also, they're not necessarily going to objectively say, look, I don't know if I've heard the full story because I don't know everybody involved in this situation.
Are you even going to read the full story?
Absolutely. Are you even going to read the full story? So I think that what social media can do is it can take some of the very more juicy and sensationalized bits and amplify those. And it can mean that, you know, that comes at the cost of actually knowing the true facts of what what is
hence
involved.
why we have fake news, guys. Fake news has come from the dynamic of using a fake news story to sell a product.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. And that's what happened to Joe. That's what's happened
Exactly.
in most of the big scandals that have happened online. Let's go online and get a comment from someone from our social media platforms. Philadela saying, just wait it out and walk away. Because once you have doubt about the love between the two of you, there will always be that doubt, and that is not good for a relationship. Weighing in on the cheating rather than break it publicly, just deal with it. Shiraz, is this their fault? You wanted to be famous? Okay, let's look at it from the perspective of the person who is going through this right now. Surely if you want all the money, the fame, the glory that comes with it, you
But
can
it's also
take
my
it.
career.
Yeah.
This is my job.
I'm an
Just like
actor.
you're going and being a dentist, just like you're going and being a chef, I am an actor. I am a sports star. People forget that there are still real people. You mentioned earlier on, human. We are human beings after all. You know, why are we losing the humanization and basically making you seem like you're a robot and you've done such bad things, but in actual fact, you're just a human at the end of the day.
It is the human condition. Don't beat
Yes.
yourself up too much if you are rubbernecking at that social media car
Yeah.
accident as you go past it on your timeline. I just will use one quick analogy here. It's one thing, Will Smith, he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
He's going to be all right. But it's that 14-year-old boy that gets bullied online that then goes and takes his own life. He's not going to be okay. And that is the problem here, is we are making it all right to slander and attack people in that online space because we feel there's anonymity or it's a safe place for us to be able to do that. There are repercussions, whether that's in someone's career, in their mental health, or their physical state. So think about that every second, every time you want to say anything online.